Welcome back to SL Chennai Speaks Out. Are we too soft or hard on our criminals? Ozzy Fernandez, what do you believe is the average experience, the average citizen's experience when they go to a police station to file a complaint?
Especially among the poorer sections and the average citizen, the first thing is a complaint put in. It takes in so much of time to get an FIR filed. When the poor go in as an accused, very often, till today, in the police stations in Chennai, they are beaten up, they are stripped of their clothes, they are made to sit down, they are not given a chair, they are made to sit on the ground. You know, very, very inhuman treatment till today.
Not. Absolutely not.
2 days back, I visited your police station. It's nearby Coimbatore.
His police station?
No, not his.
Okay,
police station.
Yes.
That was for a complaint. I lost my RC book. For that, I went there. There was 2 cases. One auto driver was talking to some girl in the bus stop, it seems. They took that guy. At the same time, another person who was driving a Honda City. So some accident. I think he ran. I think they killed a person. But the person, the auto driver I'm talking, they stripped, they kicked, they slapped, they manhandled. He was sitting in the corner of the floor. The person who was the driver, I'm talking about the Honda City, he was sitting in a chair. They are offering the A4 sheet paper, or you want a coffee?
The common problem with all citizens is we don't know what happens in a police station. We don't know how to file an FIR. What is the procedure that happens in a police station?
16 years back, in this very month, for this very purpose, a movement was launched called Friends of Police. We don't know that. And you should know, now you know.
But for everything you're suggesting Friends of Police.
It's not a panacea. But what he's saying is he needs an interface. And thousands of youth like you, in the very rural areas where they could be treated with indignity, have come into police stations. And three young people like you are accompanying an average policeman in the official police stations of Tamil Nadu. And the Loyola College, which is rated #1 in the country, we have do you know that 200 young people are active Friends of Police? They go on night rounds with a constable. So that breaks the khaki curtain. So we have torn the khaki curtain.
You have Katta Panchayat now, what we call kangaroo courts. Now, whenever, let's say somebody, a tenant overstays beyond the lease, it's actually trespass. Now, the landlord, if he goes to the court, he knows it will take many, many donkey's years for it to be settled, for him to be able to get an eviction order. So the person either goes to the police, and the police is not allowed to interfere in civil disputes. The courts frown upon this practice. But a lot of senior officers I've been talking to recently have told me that when it comes to escorting dangerous criminals, you trust the police. When it comes to escorting our national assets, the VVIPs, you trust the police. But you don't trust the police when it comes to solving, let's say, a civil dispute. You don't trust the police. The Evidence Act also says admission to a police officer is inadmissible. So there is that level of mistrust even in the law.
Absolutely. Now the problem happens to be when you give this power to the police, what happens is, like in Pudal, there is, till recently, there was an 80-year-old man who was convicted of rape. Now how did that happen? Because the village in where the rape happened, the village got together and said, okay, this we'll present this 80-year-old man, and the police were fine with it. You know, somebody else did the rape. In fact, I remember a very famous case. DGP Nataraj went to Coimbatore to the jail and saw that a blind guy who is practically immobile was charged with arson. And he wrote to the government and got that fellow released out of prison. Now the point is that when you give unbridled powers to the police, this is exactly what happens.
To anybody for that matter.
It has been observed that a lot of dangerous criminals actually run their empire sitting inside the prison. You have to have jammers in prisons because you have cell phones in prisons. Also, recently in Pudal prison, there was some survey conducted which showed that many of the prisoners having a gala time, being pampered, and they're actually putting on weight in the prison.
Absolutely. It is one of those things that happens in prisons.
So we're hardly being hard on criminals in that case.
No.
You disagree?
No, it's only for
overcrowding of
very
prisons is
small
what
fraction.
you probably say. I mean,
no, I am saying all under trials, especially those for petty crimes, first you let them out. Why should you keep under trials languishing in prisons? And the coterie that is inside there, which you are talking about, is a coterie fully supported by the prison administration. It is not possible to do anything of what you're doing without support from the prison administration.
Ozzy's point is fair enough.
I am not disagreeing with the fact, or I am not ruling out that there could be an excess, but it's nothing very alarming about. Possibly there is.
You're inside prison so that to shield you from, to ensure that you don't commit further crimes. If you're continuing inside prison,
it's undesirable. If it is there, it's absolutely undesirable. And again, it must be broken if it is there. I'm not ruling it out. But prison is an area which police doesn't man.
I want to bring in Saravanan. I want to bring in Saravanan here. Saravanan, very, very valid point. I started off by talking about the lakh and 70,000 people under trials on petty offences. The Prime Minister also in a recent conference of Chief Justices and Chief Ministers made this point about under trials languishing petty offences.
Exactly.
Plea bargaining, you know, the Law Commission report spoke of it. The Malimat Committee also backed that. Plea bargaining, is that a possible solution?
Plea bargaining wouldn't be a possible solution to the Indian, for the administration, in the administration of in India, criminal justice system, it is not possible because it gives, you know, arbitrary powers. Plea bargaining, maybe, you know, it's
but
like it can
safeguards hemmed into that. It should happen only in the court.
That's what. That will not be the solution, you know, to remove this under trial prisoners. For under trial prisoners, now we have got so many laws which says that you can't, you know, detain an under trial prisoner more than a particular period of time. Say if the maximum punishment is, you know, 10 years, if the under trial prisoner is inside the prison for, you know, almost 5 years, you cannot detain him, you'll have to automatically release him. So there are so many laws.
There is also a CRPC amendment now.
CRPC amendment and the Supreme Court judgments.
This is, as he said, that Ajmal Kasab regarding the fair trial actually. Should we wait, because it is a very obvious case actually. So it is, I think it makes more sense if, you know, yeah, certainly. I think that's the right point actually. Otherwise, we will have to probably leave him and get a plane hijacked or something like that.
No, what point he is talking about?
You never know. Fair trial. So, Mr. Fernandez, I have a question for you. A family member could have been part of victim. Still, you say Kasab is an innocent, is not terrorist, or you expect if he has killed more than 500 people, you call him a terrorist?
Tomorrow, you can be picked up under existing laws and put in under the Unlawful Prevention of Unlawful Activities Act and put in as a terrorist. Please,
no, but on
please let me answer you.
It's
No,
not
please.
possible. It's not possible with a,
No,
with a
please
strong
let me
judicial
answer.
system. It isn't possible.
You can be
you
put
can't
on-
pick up somebody and, you know, book them under
You can
Tada
put
Kota. You cannot do that.
Hundreds of people
You
under the
cannot do
Gundas
that.
Act
You
in
cannot
Tamil
do that.
Nadu
You cannot do
are
that.
false.
You cannot do that.
What do you mean you cannot do
We've got
it?
a strong judicial system, judicial setup.
No, that's why
you
I'm
cannot do that.
That's why
It's
you
not
must.
possible.
But are you
You
wrongfully
must-
detaining? He says,
You must allow Kasab to go through the judicial process. He has a right. He has a right. Everyone has a right.
I think I fully agree with Mr. Oscar.
I have a right because the
1
system,
minute.
the police is empowered with so much of.
I fully agree with Mr. Oscar.
No, no, no.
I don't agree with you.
You may not agree.
Facey, entire world has seen he has massacred more than 200 people. You're saying he's innocent. You want a fair trial. More than 30 crore rupees they've spent on this fair trial.
I never said he's innocent. He's
He's not a
presumed.
terrorist.
He's
No,
presumed.
sir, I'm sorry to say, sir. I'm very
Hello,
sorry.
he's presumed
I'm very sorry.
innocent.
It's a very sorry state of affairs that we are expecting from a senior people. I'm very sorry.
There is another court to decide the destiny of Kasab.
Yes.
Today we have come to decide the destiny of our
average
criminal
criminals,
justice
yes.
system. And what we need to all agree is, yes, there is a need for urgent reform.
Reforms.
3-4 years ago, in this very city, we have had people being held under NDPS Act. You cannot get bail in NDPS Act. You are going to be put away for 7 years. We know those cases. They are all high-profile cases, and that is why it is important to give a fair trial to Kasab. That's what I am trying to say. We keep forgetting our own history. We'll pay for it.
Yeah, let's not digress too much with Kasab. Kasab is just one issue. As he said, is not the issue.
Yes.
The lie detector test, sodium pentothal,
No, but
truth serum. In fact, when you're talking of scientific investigation, human rights activists are up in arms.
Yes.
On the one hand, we say police is barbaric, they use primitive methods. And then when you have the lie detector test, you again raise objections. Why?
Yes. Because the truth serum is an absolutely feudal form. It's not a scientific testing system. All over the world, it has been done away with. In most European countries, in USA, it has been done away with. And truth serum is a farce. It simply puts you into a subconscious state and extracts things from you. What scientific investigation is this? We have been asking that the police must be separated from those who arrest and those who do the interrogation. The interrogation must be a panel of a psychologist, a social worker, a police person. There should be a panel of interrogation which is done scientifically. And the person who arrests cannot be the interrogator, because then is where torture comes in. Then is where illegal detention comes in, because the same people are asked to do this job and they need to complete their job. So I'm saying there as well, you need reforms in the police system.
All right, I want to ask Dr.
lie
R.K.
detector test as such is not, foolproof.
Not corroborated.
Not foolproof.
Not corroborated.
But for it has to have any evidentiary value, it is being made as a corroborative evidence. And it's an indicator of things that happen.
It's inhuman, sir. It's inhuman.
You have your views.
You have
your
medical
views.
examination in that case is inhuman.
All right, let's in fact, Dr. Raghavan, who headed, Dr. Raghavan, R.K. Raghavan, who headed the country's premier investigating agency, the CBI. Dr. Raghavan, scientific investigation, why is that we don't have more of that the police force?
Yeah, this is very fashionable to say it should be more scientific. Definitely, CBI has kept pace, and it has, I know the interrogation room is equipped with all the gadgetry which is required. I know the faith in scientific methods of investigation and interrogation has still not percolated down the line, but certain agencies like the CBI have definitely kept pace. Their interrogation techniques are more, have kept in tune with times, and they're more sophisticated. And I'm inclined to believe that there's no question of torture or anything. It's done on scientific lines. And that is why you get dividends, the rich dividends in the form of good reports. The Supreme Court has still a lot of faith in CBI. And my own appointment to various committees and commissions is only on the basis that I headed an organization which still has a lot of credibility in spite of tremendous criticism from different walks of life.
Thank you very much, Dr. Raghavan, for joining us on SL Chennai Speaks Out. We'll take another short break. When we return, we'll talk about the judicial delays and the need, as all the panelists have been talking about, the need for judicial reforms.